Hello, hello, hello. It's Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an elite accountability practice. And so that makes me your personal professional butt kicker. We are super excited for our special 5 Days of Focus live show with the incomparable Monique White, CEO of Triumph Services. So we'll be going live in approximately 6 minutes. So bear with us while we allow technology to let us be great. If you are on Facebook watching this live stream, please give StreamYard permission because I would love to see your comments in real time. If you have questions for us as we go along, feel free to comment in the group. And we'll be sure to address them during the live. So we will see you in approximately 6 minutes. it's Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes me your personal, professional butt kicker. Welcome to the 5 days of focus. This is our special live show, which is our gift to this community of side hustlers and aspiring corporate escape artists. So we are so excited to have each one of you here joining us for this special live show. Before we get into it and welcome our illustrious guest, I do want to flag a few really exciting Success Bully announcements for you to add to your calendar, to get involved with, to really lean into. So coming up, tomorrow we have a free master's class. It's a master's class. So we know that by this second week of February, 80% of people have fallen off of their New Year's resolutions. And so we have put together a free master's class to give you my FAT method, the FAT method to stick to your goals. So if you haven't already, you can sign up for that at successbully.com/webinar. I will be hosting it here in the group. So that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So join us for that. Also, we have another challenge coming up on March 15th. March 15th is our next challenge, and it's a 5 days of focus for our aspiring corporate escape artists, where we'll be working through putting a plan in place so that you have your walkaway number and your strategy so that you can start plotting your escape from your corporate job. So we can't wait for that's coming up in the next few weeks. If you need support, if you need any support in this community, we have concierges that are dedicated to serving and making sure that the community is well supported, whether we have a challenge going on, a master's class, a live show, whatever we're doing. You have a special concierge at your service. So Monica is your concierge. And Monica, I forgot to write down the letters again. So if you could put it in the comments, that would be great. Monica is one of our very special concierges, and also Cece. Again, if you are watching us live and you want to comment to me so I can see any questions that you may be having, please give StreamYard permission. So say hello to our concierges, Monica and Cece. They are here for you. So like I said, we have a lot of cool stuff coming up. Oh, Cece would be really mad at me if I didn't say this. We have a giveaway. There are prizes and surprises going on. We still have a day or so left on our latest giveaway. So we've given a Valentine's shortbread box from Caitlin, Catbird's Creation by Caitlin. We've given away a Love Up on Yourself package. We also have an hour-long strategy session with me where we can just do a business audit to get you back on track so you can love up on your business. All right, so I think I covered all the announcements. So without further ado, is that how I say that? Further ado? Whatever, I crack myself up. I don't care. We are welcoming the incomparable, the amazing, the illustrious servant leader, Monique White. Monique White has been described as a visionary, anointed, driven, encouraging, and persistent. And I agree with all of that. I agree with all of it. Whether she's speaking at a conference, a workshop, if she's on a panel, whether she's doing one-on-one coaching, consulting on business or legal matters, or just holding a patient's hand, Monique's passion for empowering others shines through. She is truly a servant leader. So Monique White is an attorney, a registered nurse, an adjunct professor, a certified professional coach, an international speaker, and an Amazon best and founder of Triumph Services. I have to catch my breath reading all of her accolades. I should have drank more water. Woo! Monique, you're so accomplished. She has over 28 years of combined experience in health and business services. And I can't wait to really ask her more about her background, especially when you think about the world of health and law colliding. So I really want to dig into that. Business services, law, and public safety. Triumph Services is a consulting and coaching firm. So she provides expert medical legal support services to attorneys and business consultants. Now, if you want some transformation, if you are looking for a sign today, if you are looking for that sign to get out of your own way and get into motion, Monique has that for you. If you need someone to get you going and get you fired up, Monique is that person. So without further ado, a little more about Monique. She has an associate's degree in nursing science from Mercer County Community College, a bachelor's of science degree in nursing from New Jersey Institute of Technology and a University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey. And she has her JD from Rutgers. And she has certificates in professional coaching from the Community College of Philadelphia and multiple national certifications. There is no one more qualified than Monique to answer any of your business questions today. I'm going to selfishly ask my own questions, so y'all just have to deal. So hopefully technology will allow me to be great as I welcome Monique White to the show. Hello, Monique.
Hello, and thank you for having me. You have me cracking up here backstage. This is going to be wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Absolutely. So I want to hear more about your background, especially like at what point were you like, I can see growing in a nursing career and there's all the certifications and the qualifications that you have to do year over year to maintain all your licenses. But at what point were you like, I'm going to law school?
That is a question that everybody asks me. No matter where I'm at, that's a question that comes up. And I would love for it to be some really glossy dream. I thought I could say it was a dream of mine, but actually it was not.
Okay, go on.
It actually is not that glamorous. It was done on a bet.
Really? Okay, tell me, who bet you couldn't go to law school?
It was a dean from New Jersey Institute of Technology, because I had my own view of what I was going to do with my life. You know, single mom, go to nursing school, you know, because nursing, you become an RN. We have 3 different tracks, you know, support my family, then go on for my master's. And at the time, I know I'm dating myself. At the time, being a nurse anesthetist was all the rage. This is all in the early 90s. Everybody wanted to be a nurse anesthetist. So I'm thinking, I'm going to go back, get my bachelor's, go on, get my master's, and then be a nurse anesthetist. And then, you know, it's so funny. I don't believe in coincidences. I had a dean from New Jersey Institute of Technology as one of my professors. And she looked at me and she said, why would you do that? She said, be different. Ooh. Be different. Ooh. Yeah, everybody else is, why do what is expected? All these ladies, they're going to go on and be nurse anesthetists. She said, be different. She said, at the end of the day, they're still going to be answering to somebody. They're not going to be running their own thing. So, and Dr. Hodge bugged the crap out of me day in and day out. So we made a bet. I would go sit for the LSAT. If I did well, I would go to law school. And if I didn't, she would leave me alone and I would just do that expected track, right?
Right.
And I'll never forget the day of the LSAT. It was the playoffs with the Flyers. The Flyers were playing at 1:00. So I had to be at home by 1:00 so I could see the Flyers play. So lo and behold, did well on the LSAT, got accepted to Rutgers, and then that started my legal career.
It's so fun when there's twists and turns like that, where you're like, yeah, I did it on a bet. Where like it wasn't expected, it wasn't in your life mapping.
Not at all. But it's so funny because when I look back at it, it's like, you know, how other people see us. We miss things because we're so ingrained in what's expected of us, whether it be by the world or by our family, by our culture. But your purpose and your calling is always going to come out, because if they're not directing you on the right path, somebody is going to get connected to you and push you. Because literally, if she did not bug me, I would not be an attorney, because it was not on my radar whatsoever.
I love it. And so how did you were working full time and going to law school, or did you take the time off to go to law school?
No, I worked full time, single mom,
and working full time
a couple years prior. So I had a mortgage payment. So what I did was I planned things out where I worked double, 16 hours on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. That gave me my full-time hours. And then during the week, I could dedicate to going to law school.
Okay, so were you tired all the time?
Yes, ma'am.
But this is okay. I'm gonna go on one of my. You got me on my soapbox. Hold on. I I hate when people say, I'm too busy. I'm too
Mm,
busy. I'm too busy to do this. I'm too busy to do that. And when this happens, when you want to do something, you will find a way. You will find a way. 16-hour, two back-to-back 16-hour shifts so that
mhm.
you could go to law school and
Exactly.
be there for your family. You found a way. You found a way. And so like I think that for our side hustlers watching that, like, with the yeah, you're gonna be tired. There are going to be times where you're tired. And that is just it is what it is, right? But find a way. Create
Right.
that schedule for yourself. Because like that was so did you do it in 3 years?
3 years.
Three
Correct.
and you did it in 3 years. You didn't do the extended remix version of law school.
No, I went to full time. That 5 years, I was like, I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna be here for 5 years. I'm gonna get this done. And where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's an intention and determination, you can find a way.
Tell them, tell them, Monique. Tell them. Monica wants to know, how are you still standing? So then, so now you're an attorney.
Yes.
You are still working in nursing. You're raising your family. So at what point were you like, you know what? Time to fly, baby. So when did you start Triumph Services, and like who are your ideal clients? What was the catalyst for starting your own business?
Okay. Well, actually, when I look back at Triumph Services, to answer your first question, started in 2018. Was reformed in 2018. It's actually something that I was doing already.
Okay.
In nursing, when new nurses are paired up with older nurses, we call it precepting. And
Mm.
called accountability partner.
Mm.
When you go into law, you always have a managing partner, someone that you can go to. And then as you go along and you climb up the ladder, you're assigned somebody else. So it's something that was already being done. And also, when another common factor through it all is, if you look at my career, nursing and law, there's that service factor. There's that advocate factor. As we tell the new nurses, you are that patient's first line of defense. If something's wrong, it doesn't matter what they have behind their name. You are their protection. You're there to fight for that person, for them to get better, get back on the way. Like in law, same thing. You're there. You're that person's advocate. So coaching actually came up to me from a minister, because I didn't know it was a thing. I just thought you just did it. I'm like, that thing?
It is in fact a thing.
It's like, oh, yeah, because we were talking about at the time, and again, this is how twists and turns and how you're connected. I really wanted to build something for single moms. For that, because they have a unique set of challenges and obstacles that they're battling, because it's not just you anymore. It's you.
Right.
And so that's how I got introduced to coaching. And so that's when you read my bio, I specifically say, I focus on single moms. I deal with all professionals, but my heart is for single moms, and let them know that doesn't have to stop you. I was a single mom, and I worked my butt off. I had my son when I was 18. Where, like you said, where there's a will, there's a way. When you get sick and tired of being in your present circumstances, you will make a change.
Tell them, Monique. Tell them, Monique. And this is, I will say, I was raised by a single mother. My father died when I was 3, and there were 4 of us, and we were all under 5 when my dad died. But my mom was one of the most organized women and a time management goddess. Like, when I think about like the skill sets that I took away from, like, what were those big learnings? My mom had a family calendar. This was pre-Google and smart devices. We had this family calendar for the year that was over the refrigerator. And my mom broke down all of where everybody needed to be, what time we needed to be there. So like we could see the whole year. We were also color coded. And so my
Wow.
color was green. My color was green. My older sister was blue. The twins were red and yellow. So I had a green toothbrush. I had a green cup. I had green plates. I had green everything. So if you left your stuff out, it was your color. And mom would be like, come and get this.
Right.
But also that I think that naturally there's that ability to time manage and to prioritize and to really focus on what's important. And so like I think that if you want to learn how to do something efficiently, call a single mom.
Exactly.
If you want to get it done and get it done fast, call your single mom. So your ideal clients are single mothers. And so what type of services do you provide for them?
Well, my ideal client is professionals in general. Specifically, I serve single moms, but all professionals. I help them monetize their expertise, particularly with those who have built up their experience. They've been in this job, but now they're ready to launch out. So what we go through is, how do you pick that one thing?
Tell them.
All have a whole bunch of natural innate talent, skills, and abilities. Now you've been in this business and you built up that, and you have exercised it like a muscle, so it has grown. Now that you have all this wealth of information and expertise, what one thing are you going to pick that you are going to maximize and leverage to launch out into the deep of entrepreneurship, so you can transform your circumstances? So we go through those steps. So you come out with a startup plan, you come out with a business that is positioned for success.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that I still struggle with this as an entrepreneur. What's that one thing? Like what's the one thing? Because like, especially because now it's like wide open land, because like I don't even go to a job anymore. So like, working full time, I have infinite time to do whatever I want, right? But the truth of it is, like, when you are really focused on that one thing, and that is how you scale. Start with that one thing. I think when it's, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yeah, well, you're going to have a whole bunch of busy and not a lot of revenue coming into that bank account. So I really love the idea of giving that singular focus, especially when it's newer entrepreneurs, when like the shiny lights of entrepreneurship and what about it all? Like, look at, I saw so-and-so do this on Instagram. Let me go do that on Instagram. When that Instagram, if you're really good at it, you can make some money with it. So then how does like your rich background, how does that play into your current business? Like, so where are those skill sets that you've cultivated and nurtured over the last few years? How does that show up in Triumph Services?
It shows up in the legal support services on that arm. I noticed when I was even, it was fun. That's why I said to you, when you asked me that first question, I get asked that all the time. When I was in law school, a professor asked me, why do you want to do this? The nurse is such a good job. When I did my internship, the judge said, why do you want to leave nurse? Nurse is such a good job. When I did my clerkship, everybody asked that same thing, right? So I combined the two, because the bottom line is, they're lawyers. They don't necessarily understand the chart. So on that end, I support them by reviewing all of their medical related cases. Every state has a threshold that must be met before you can file. And then ongoing serving as their expert. So I have combined the two areas together to support that arm. Business consulting, again, this is actually not my first business. This is about my third business.
Okay.
And so I use my own experience, and all the mistakes that we made along the way, because no one jumps into this thing knowing everything. That's why
you are going to mess up some stuff.
Right. That's why you need to get connected to a coach like Keita at the very beginning, so you can not make mistakes that she made or I made in the beginning. So I help those professionals that are ready to go out and launch their own businesses, but just don't know where to start. And that's a really big problem and obstacles for people. They feel stuck because they don't know where to start.
Or they're waiting on perfection. Right? Like
That too.
wait, it was like overthinking, like, well, and I have a friend, I promise you, she got PowerPoints for PowerPoints for PowerPoints, and we were supposed to. I launched my business in 2017, and we had this conversation in 2017. She's still writing PowerPoints. I'm 4 years in. She's still writing PowerPoints,
Right.
waiting for it to be the perfect business idea. And so then tell me, like, what is your big vision for Triumph Services this year? So, like, I know 2020 has been a year of transition for all of us. So, like, coming off of 2020, going into 2021, what is you, or in, we're in it. Oh shoot, we're in it. We're halfway through Q1. So what's your big vision for this year?
So this year I will be launching my online academy. And I am partnering with other coaches, and it's going to be awesome to provide that holistic support that you need to be successful in business. It's not just filing the paperwork and doing X, Y, and Z. It's a holistic approach. I have the group to transform the entrepreneur, and the tagline is transforming mind, money, and manifestations. Everything starts with a thought, right?
Tell them. Well, I think, and I yell this on the internet all the time, that entrepreneurship is 80% head game, 20% execution. That like, if you think you can't build a multi-million-dollar business, you're right. If you think you can build a multi-million-dollar business, you're right. You're right.
Everything starts here. It starts right in your mind, and you determine, no matter what people said about you, no matter who's there, who's not there, who's supporting, who's not supporting, at the end of the day, it starts with you. You determine who you're going to be, what path you're going to take, and how successful you're going to be. And you determine how quickly you're going to get there by the steps and the strategies that you take, and how intentional you are about meeting those benchmarks.
This is why you're a woman after my own heart. I couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, Monica! Okay. So then how are you approaching this daily? Because like that's a big vision. So how are you breaking this down in your daily activities?
Daily activities, first of all, self-care is a must. So actually I was thinking about before we came on is, you always have to set some time away each day where you're going to take care of yourself, where you are going to feed yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Now, whether that be in the morning, some people have it in the afternoon, some people have it in the evening, but some period of time has to be set aside for you. So you don't get lost in the sauce, right? And then you have to be planning your day. I believe in time mapping. Map out your day. So you don't get, lost over here and, okay, I started this, but then I'm distracted. I'm over here. And make sure you set out those benchmarks. You have to be intentional, and you have to be determined. And I say that because entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but just like the wave comes and goes, so will they. You have to be able to stand the course. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is benchmarks. So then how else are you going to measure how successful you're being if you never set the intention for something to begin with?
Yeah. If you don't set a goal, how do you know if you're on track?
Right.
If you're not tracking it, how do you know if you're on track? And I do think having that, because I think so much of entrepreneurship is like a sowing and harvesting sort of scenario, where there are times where you're planting seeds and you're not seeing anything, where you're taking all the appropriate steps to grow your business, and you just can't see it right now. But that doesn't mean you quit. That doesn't mean you take your foot off the gas, because once those little seedlings start popping, then then you have a whole garden. And so like I think that like having those benchmarks and those benchmarks being more activity based rather than outcome based, you can say, well, I reached out to 25 ideal clients today to try to get them on my calendar for consultation calls. You did your part.
Right.
Like whether they book, that's on them. But if you aren't doing that action that you control, that tennis ball you knock over the net, Did I use that? I'm not an athlete. If you're not doing those intentional actions, right, to propel your business forward daily, like that you're putting yourself out of business. Actually, you are tanking your own business if you're not taking intentional daily steps to move it forward. Oh, you know what? Heartful. Tell them. We don't say time management here at Success Bully. We call it ruling your time. That you have to be a monarch of your time, because time management implies it has a choice, that it can call in sick, that it can get a reprieve. But if you're the monarch, it obeys you. So what are some of your productivity hacks? Like I hear the time mapping, and we're aligned right there. But what are some of the other things that you do to maximize your time in your business?
Delegation.
Tell them.
Delegation. And this is one thing I had to struggle with, because, and single moms in general, because we control our environment. We have to have, we have to have some sort of organization in order, to be effective. But the bottom line is, you don't have to do everything.
You don't have to be Superwoman.
No. I did a whole series on self-sabotage, and that's one of the things, that Superwoman syndrome.
Tell them.
It pays off. You do not have to be Superwoman, and you do not have to, serve everyone. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. If it is not serving you, if you are spreading yourself too thin, then you need to reassess. So, really, it just starts with setting that intention in the morning. Your day actually should have been planned out the day before.
Yes!
You know what you're doing. And then we talk about days, and then weeks and months, and you got to break it down. But you really have to be intentional about not being distracted. And that's hard when, especially in the social media era. A lot of people do their selling on social media. So how do you avoid the rabbit hole? You can only do that if you are intentional about your time. Because
I have a hack for that.
Okay.
That delegation piece. Hello, Cece and Aya.
Mine's
so like the what you're seeing on social media, I come in for live videos. I do the stuff that I'm supposed to do, but like even I approve content now, as opposed to, like, I would agonize over captions. And that was not the best use of my time. Whereas, like, I can set strategy or discuss what's our strategic approach, and then I review it. Right. Where again, but that's being comfortable enough of, okay, I'm not Superwoman. I don't have to be Superwoman, but I'm going to delegate these pieces so that I can work on like this piece. I have to do this piece. Right.
And that comes down to really knowing your gift, and staying in your lane. If you are that leader, leaders lead. Leaders aren't doing all the minutia. Leaders lead. You're the visionary.
Monique's kicking my butt, everyone. Stop driving up my driveway, Monique.
you put it into place. You're the visionary. You have to, delegate things that don't necessarily need you. Is this something that needs my time? Can I delegate that? Okay. Is there second? It can be automated? Because your business is only going to be as good as your systems.
Tell them.
So you got to have some systems in place for things. Do I sit there? Now I have someone for, you have CC and Monica. I have Answer. I have somebody else for the web page. But internally, you have to have a workflow. What needs to be done every day that everybody should be doing? For example, we're on Facebook. So everybody needs to sign on Facebook. Everybody needs to sign on into their Google account, into the shared drive, your calendar, because you're not going to know what I have for you to do when we're supposed to be meeting unless you sign into all those things. Everybody has a workflow. You got to break it down. And then what can be automated? I don't sit there and post every day at 8:00 in the morning. It's scheduled. Okay. email, your CRM. Do you have a CRM in progress? Now, if you don't know what a CRM is, then that's an issue that you need to speak to Keita about. But you got to think about this, just like knowing your numbers. You, delegation systems, your automation, use what is available. There are so many productivity tools out there, because at the end of the day, everybody only has 24 hours. And
even Beyonce.
How you spend it will determine how you and your business will be successful.
And I would like to echo that it doesn't have to be hard.
No.
It doesn't have to be hard.
No, get out of your own head.
Yeah, like we make it hard. It's not actually hard to run a business. We make it hard, overthinking things or trying to do everything ourselves. I know that one of the first things I recommend for our clients, hire a VA, even if it's like 2-3 hours a week. You got to start taking those training wheels off and get used to delegating, because you literally sabotage your own growth by not building a team.
Right.
Exactly. Right. There's only so much scale you can get under your belt being an army of one. Right. So, oh my goodness, all the things. Okay. So advice. You ready? Okay. I got off track. You got me all flutter. Okay. So like, we've talked about this self-care. We talked about like, time blocking, systems, and all of those things. So now let's talk about the coaching component, because like, I know that we're both mission aligned as folks that coach, as coaches. And so at what point do you recommend people seek out coaching? Because I think it's different for everyone. So what are your recommendations on when is it time to invest in coaching?
At the very beginning.
Tell them.
At the very beginning. Before you start making all those mistakes. I mean, first of all, your coach should be someone who's already done it and is where you want to go. Same thing for, there's a whole bunch of people out here calling themselves coaches on things that they don't really have the information and knowledge on. At the very beginning is when I suggest you get a coach. And all coaches are not created equal. Does that coach specialize in what you need and what you're seeking? I see in a lot of coaches, are they just going, there's a gap in information, implementation, and accountability. Is that coach just going to throw you in a portal with a whole bunch of information and go ahead, figure out what you need, when you need it, and go ahead and implement it? Or is that someone who is going to give you a strategic plan, a workforce plan, because that's what we also need to talk about. I was thinking when we were talking earlier, everything has to be realistic. Sometimes we set ourselves up for failure because we're just setting some unrealistic goals. But at the very beginning, if you pick the correct coach, that coach will walk you through. You need somebody. First of all, I'm faith-based, y'all, so I'm just going to go there. None of us were created to walk this journey alone.
That is so true.
The Bible even talks about coaches, mentors, accountability partners. You need somebody who has an elder who can take you along that path to get to where you need to go, who can snatch you up by the back of your neck when you're about to go down the wrong way, who's not afraid to tell you about yourself when you need just to be, have a come to Jesus moment. And we all need them sometimes, So.
Well, like, I definitely think that I think that when I was getting started, my thoughts were like, oh, this is too expensive. Oh, this is like at every stage of your business, it's almost like you need a different coach for where you want to go, right? Like there's the getting started, there's the scaling, there's the with the 6-figure to 7-figure chasm, because I do think that not wait till the discomfort of what you're experiencing is so overwhelming that you have no other choice but to get a coach. You want to make coaching a priority when you are clear and level-headed, making the decision about where you want to be rather than where you currently are, right? So
Right.
I totally
Right.
agree that like it is we've been saying this skip the line. Skip the line.
Mhm.
Why stand in line? Why try to figure it out on your own? Why spin around like a little top?
Mhm. Mhm. Exactly.
Why spin
Exactly. It's
around?
not necessary. If there's someone who can help you jump the line, it's just not necessary. And the bottom line is, you if you get too frustrated, you're going to quit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you don't want to happen. You want someone who can help you so you can avoid that. And
Mm-hmm.
there can be no return on an investment if you never made the investment in the first place.
Yes. 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 And then the other piece of that is to be coachable.
Yep.
Yeah, because like coaching is only as good as the action that is taken, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like if you're going to invest in coaching, you're not second guess your coach, that you take the action, because like it's not, it may be uncomfortable, but it's not designed to cripple you. It is designed to get you out of your way and out of your comfort zone. All right, real quick. And so we want to know, how do we get some more Monique in our lives? So what do you have coming up? Where can we find you? All that. Tell us. So
All right.
what's on your calendar? What's coming up that we can get involved with?
Well, in April, on April
Uh,
12th, I will be starting my new challenge.
okay.
And that is called Transform Your Hustle. And we're going to talk about, first with the 5 pillars are knowing who, who's, and why you are. Because there are too many people out here walking around with their heads hanging down,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing their true purpose in life or living a life that somebody else has planned out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Take you through, how do you pick that one thing?
Yes.
That one thing. How do you find your audience, and how you build that business? You can find me at www.triumph, S as in Sam, V as in Victor, C as in Cat, S as in Sam.com.
Mm-hmm.
A free gift for everyone that's on.
There's a gift. There's a gift. Monique's a great guest. She brought y'all all a gift.
If you go to bit.ly/to unburden me,
Ooh.
you will get the 5 steps to overcome overwhelm and get unstuck.
Yes.
That's bit.ly/to unburden me, and get the 5 steps to overcome overwhelm. Because that's, especially with, women in particular, because that's the main demographic that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
We get in our heads and we become overwhelmed with everything, thinking everything has to be done right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a great tool for you to just get unstuck, because no one wants to be unstuck. Let's just be, to be stuck. Nobody, that doesn't feel good.
No, I've never said I prefer to be stuck right now.
Right. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be moving forward. So there are tools and tips to get you there. And of course, if you want to have a free consult with me, you can just go to bit.ly /ever transforming.
Okay, so Monica and Cece will put those links in the comments, because I can't do more than one thing at one time right this second. So we'll put that in the comments, so this community can circle back and get involved. So now I got 2 lightning round questions that got nothing to do with anything.
Okay, go.
So what are you currently reading? Because leaders are readers. So what's on your nightstand? What are you reading?
I just finished an audiobook by Gary Vee, and I don't remember the name of it. I'm sorry. It was his latest book that came out.
Okay.
Also,
we'll find it.
I can't remember.
We'll Google it. Don't worry about it. Okay, this is your mic drop moment. Okay, you've dropped several smaller mics throughout this interview. So now this is your finale mic drop. And I imagine that it would be like a bedazzled, rhinestone encrusted mic for you. That's what I would see for your mic drop anyway. So like if you were giving that golden nugget and last bit of advice to this community of goal getting, side hustling, business empire building women, what would that piece of advice be?
You were created with all power, authority, and you were given the tools to exercise it. So the choice is yours. Are you going to stay stuck, or are you going to get going? Are you going to stand and stay for the status quo, or are you going to stand up and use your voice and your talents? The choice is yours. The choice is
Woo!
yours.
Ooh, that gave me goosebumps. Oh, oh, that was one hell of a mic drop. I told you, Monique was gonna get you fired up. Woo! That gave me goosebumps. Thank you for joining us, Monique. Hold the line. I'm gonna do the thing where I wrap it up. But thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
This is
having me.
awesome. This is
Thank you.
awesome.
Good night.
Thank you. Okay, I got to catch my breath after that one. Once again, I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes us your personal professional butt kickers. Look for all the goodness from Monique. We will put the links in the comments for her free gift to everyone that watched this. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay so we can reach out to you and make sure you get your free gifts from Monique, and that you have all the information to join her upcoming challenge on April 12th. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time for my special masterclass to prevent the February fall off, because we know the second week of February, most people abandon their New Year's resolutions. I believe it's 80% of people have abandoned them by now. So I'm going to give you my FAT method to stick to your goals. And of course, there's surprises and prizes. We got giveaways going on, and we have a challenge coming up on March 15th. So stay tuned for more of that. So once again, I'm Keita Williams. Let's get after it.